I chose nursing because ever since I was young, I always wanted to do something in my career that would help other people. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for the longest time.
I guess the reason why I chose nursing was because I wanted to help people, mostly after I had an experience with my grandmother. My grandmother had diabetes and she had heart failure because of the diabetes. And there was one day where I had to take her to her appointment. After the appointment, we had to pick up her prescriptions, and I really didn't want to do it. I was 16, 15, and I wanted to hang out with my friends after school and not take my grandmother to her appointments. The whole time I kept thinking, I just want to leave. I want to go hang out with my friends. We get home, and I go meet up with my friends, and I think about the day. And I kept thinking, gosh, I was such a bad grandson for wanting to leave my grandma. So the whole time I'm with my friends, I'm thinking, gosh, I want to go back home. And that night, my grandmother had lots of pain in her leg. Nothing I did seemed to work, and I massaged her for hours until she finally went to sleep. And I called my friend later that night. I was just crying and thinking, I feel so bad for wanting to leave. When I went to nursing school, a lot of the times what I think back to is that day and how I think about when I think of other people, when I take care of them. I think about that instance where I should have been more compassionate and caring. And so now when I take care of other people, I think of that moment where it took seeing someone that I cared about in pain and how I could have made them feel better. I think about that as how I can make someone else's grandmother feel better. I like not just being there for the patient, especially at the end of their life, but being there for their families at that crucial or emotional time in their lives.
Yeah.
Especially when they lose a loved one.
I've only experienced one patient death, and that was actually pretty hard for me. I didn't really realize it'd be that way. Pretty much, I think I got him as he was starting the dying process. I just envisioned if this was my husband, if I was in this situation, I would just be devastated because my husband and my daughter, they're like my life and I love them. It was hard, but I was glad I could be there for her and help her through that.
We get to be part of other people's lives, even just for such a brief moment, but we make such a big impact. But then it's the same, they make such a big impact on us too, and I think that's the reason why I chose nursing.